Wait.
Thanks.
Okay, we are recording. Hi, everybody. Last one. Eleanor, are you bummed?
I am a little, yeah. I'm going to miss it. I'm going to have to do it again.
Okay, good. Good. We'll talk about that, though. We'll talk about that.
Okay.
I think Kim's going to post a new video in on Team Do It Now within the next couple of days, maybe? Maybe, kind of something. Talking a little bit about what we're going to do next, okay, for you, okay? So, yeah, so while this is our last Coach Basics Zoom call, it's not really our last bit of Coach Basics, right? Because we have our little push for the last 2 months, or last 2 weeks of the month, right? So I think we were talking about doing a Coach Basics challenge group, right?
Yes.
There was a little bit of feedback talking about 21 Day Fix, talking about Body Beast, but I don't really know what we kind of settled on, and I wish more people were, hey, look, Jen made it. So I wish that more people had kind of contributed to that conversation or was able to hop on the phone so we can kind of talk about that. But what do you think? Eleanor, what do you think? What's your take on what we should do as a group challenge group for all of us?
Well, 21 Day Fix is really good. I know everyone around here is really psyched. We're doing one right now. So I know it's been very popular, very popular. Me, myself, for the summer, I'm going to do Shailene Extreme. That's just a personal that I'm doing. But 21 Day Fix has been really great. So,
okay. And when does your current group for that end? Do you know?
It ends the 1st of June, I think. That Sunday or Monday.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And then, yep. And then Jen, I know you're running a 21 Day Fix group too. Are you do you have like a timeline for when you're running that, or is that just kind of ongoing?
It's just kind of ongoing because it's people that really are new and have no clue. So it's just really more to support them.
Okay. So Adria, what do you think? Should we do a 21 Day Fix group then? Do we think we feel most?
I think that's the most popular one at this point that a lot of people jump on since it combines a lot of the nutrition, gets everything in, and it's 21 days.
Yeah, it's only 21 days. So, all right,
it's a good basic one. And I mean, if people are running their 21 Day Fix group, they could always add those people because typically it seems like after they finish a first round of it, people like to go and round 2.
Yeah.
They like me that jump from program to program because you're addicted to doing different ones. You can't repeat one.
All right. So let's go with the 21 Day Fix challenge group then. Let's look at our calendars. Okay. So if we technically end Coach Basics on Friday the 15th. So we're going to take the weekend off. But Lisa, Adria, and I are pushing all of you guys, right, to invite more for the last 2 weeks of the month. So if we extend on, so if we're inviting then for the last 2 weeks of the month, if we said June 8th, right? Because Eleanor, you said you were done on June 1st, right?
Right.
Right. Okay. So I think if we said like a June 8th, what do you think, Adria? June 8th?
Yeah, I think that's good.
That good?
Yeah, and then you can start
plenty of time.
Yeah. Do that pre-post week for the week of June 1st to kind of keep some people, and then those people that are finishing out in Eleanor's, they can still get dumped in early and they can, be posting along the way if they want.
Yep. And that'll take us through the end of June. So that'll be perfect. So that'll be about 3 weeks then that we're all kind of doing that. Okay. All right. So Adria, can you just make a note then to do a post that we've decided on 21 Day Fix? It's going to start on June 8th. And
I'm putting it in the file section too for everybody.
Okay, perfect. And I guess what we can do, Tammy, though, too, is we can open up that push group to everybody. Do it now and put everybody in there if they want to be in our push group. Okay.
Yep.
So the point of the push group, though, is to really kind of focus on inviting to that specific challenge group, right? So talking to you guys and making sure that you have your list of everybody that you want to talk to and that you are actually inviting everybody to that specific challenge group, okay? And we're all going to run it together. So it's not like, Eleanor, you're responsible for the whole entire thing. We're all going to contribute to it, right? So hopefully there's going to be a lot of engagement and a lot of activity with all of the coaches involved and then all of the challengers that we have in there, okay? Any questions on that?
You're going to do Fix and Fix Extreme?
Yeah, I guess we could do that. We can make it a
combo.
I think we should do a combo. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's, Lisa and I just had done a combo one, and what I did was kind of go back and forth with the post between Extreme and 21 Day Fix to see which one I liked better.
Mm-hmm.
That works. Totally works. Okay. So the other thing that, so if we're good with that, are you guys, Jen, Eleanor, Jenna, are you guys all good with that? Good? Good. I want to talk about objections because we really didn't have a chance to kind of talk about it. So I'm glad that we're recording it because, you know, there's not a lot of people on the call tonight. So, which kind of bums me out knowing that it's our last one and we have a low turnout, but that's okay. It happens, right? So I made a quick little note of some of the objections that you guys are seeing on a regular basis. And for the most part, do you think that your feedback is, wow, that's really expensive? Give me a thumbs up if that's pretty much the, you know, Jenna, you too, right? That's what you kind of get to? Yes. Okay. So Tammy, Adria, I don't know how you do yours, but I know that Tammy and I are very similar when we talk to potential challengers about a particular product. Really, the way that I do it is if somebody asks me, so how much is that? I never answer that question first off. Never, 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 right? I mean, it's easy to, but then that's kind of like the end of that conversation. You're like, well, it's $129. Okay, well, who's going to just lay out $129 for something that they've never tried before, they really know nothing about, okay? So as you are talking to people, what I want you guys to think about is getting more information from them, right? You're asking questions. So when they say, well, how much is it about Shakeology, your response can be something along the lines of, well, let's talk a little bit more about what you're trying to achieve or what goals you're trying to get to and how Shakeology can kind of fit into that. So let's talk a little bit more about that. So rather than specifically answering their question, I want you to open up dialogue a little bit more and to chat a little bit more about that, okay? One of the reasons why, even after you've talked about it for a little bit, you still get that, wow, that's still really expensive. You haven't created enough value for them. And here's the thing for me, right? And this has taken time, so don't think that this is something that you're going to be a pro at, and I'm certainly not a pro at it yet either because I still get the objection sometimes. However, I get to the point in my conversation where price never even comes up. I'm asking such directed questions and I get to that person's reasonings why they're interested in Shakeology and why they're interested in losing weight and what their reasoning is and what their why is. I'm getting all of that information from them. They've basically sold themselves on that challenge pack. They're ready to go. They're like, great, let's go. Okay. Now that takes time though, right? And that takes time learning the right questions to ask and how to draw that information out of that person. So that definitely takes a while for you guys to get to that point, and you will get there as long as you continue to have the conversations. Remember, we always talk about failing, and you are. You're going to throw up Beachbody. You're going to answer a question with what the price is or whatever it is, but you're going to learn from those experiences and you're going to grow from that. So the more conversations you have, the better off you'll get to that. So really, it's gotten to the point now where I have conversations with people and they don't ask me the price, they're just ready to go. Adrian, do you have thoughts on that? On it's too expensive.
Yeah, I mean, completely agree with what you're saying. And, you know, I find that a lot of times when you're speaking from the heart about the product too, and you're not feeling that overwhelmed of cost, and then it comes across that way. I think a lot of times when you have that kind of in your head that, yeah, you're right, it is expensive. Because I've heard other people say that who are coaches. Well, then you know what? You're sending that message across to other people as well. So making sure that you have that strong belief in it. So when you're talking, again, like I'm a big person who talks about, you know, being genuine, being who you are. So it comes across that way, that you are who you are, you're speaking the truth, and they hear that passion in your voice about it, then it's not going to be that question when you believe in it as well, that much.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I don't know, Shay Sanford did her national wake-up call, and I was driving today, I'm trying to think about when that was, and that might have been before all of you guys came on board. So Adria, can you make a note to find the link for that, for when she did her national wake-up call? And I would say within like the past 3 months.
Times.
I want to say either last week of March or the first week of April. It was like right before we went to Cancun.
Yeah, so if you can find the link for that and then post that, because that's going to give you a lot of information condensed into a half an hour, because Shay speaks so passionately about Shakeology and her belief in it. So I want you guys to kind of hear her and listen to her on the things that she has to say about it, right? So before you go ahead and blurt out a price of what Shakeology costs, I want you to present this information that Shay presents to you in the National Wake Up Call, okay? So, Adrielle, I'll stick a link in there, and then hopefully over the next couple of days, you guys will be able to listen to that and check that out, okay?
It was March 16th.
Wow, you're quick, man.
Podcast.
Nice. So if you could just post that link so everybody can kind of check that out, that'll be great. Because I'm thinking that a lot of you guys probably started after that, so you weren't on that National Wake Up Call. Okay, so some of the other, Jen, any thoughts on that? Do you want more elaboration on the cost of Shakeology?
No, not necessarily. I mean, that's what I kind of get the most of is, you know, over time. Like, people don't want to commit to the home delivery, you know, the 30 days because they're afraid that, what if I don't like it? And, you know, I'm now committed, and you tell them they can cancel it at any time, but sometimes people don't want to go through that hassle of having to do that. That's kind of, you know, sometimes that kind of I've noticed turns people off a little bit too. So.
I like to tell people when it comes to that I consider myself like their personal customer service person. So when it comes to them not liking it, which I say it has never happened, and truthfully, nobody's ever drank it in the time that I've been with Beachbody and has not liked it, but I always tell them that I will personally help them return it.
I always put a note in my calendar. So, and I always tell them, okay, let's just sign up for the HD. So your shipping is only $2 versus paying full price. And I know if you buy a challenge pack, it's always $2. But aside from that, but I tell them that I'm going to put a note in my calendar. I'm going to follow up with you in 3 weeks, specific to your next shipment on Shakeology. And we're going to talk about how you want to proceed, whether you want to cancel it, change your flavor, change your ship date, or if you just want to keep going with that flavor that you have there. So I tell them that I will specifically follow up with them relative to that their next shipment on my calendar. So this way they know that I'm on top of that. Eleanor, one of your objections was, do I really need all of this in a drink? Right? Tell me a little bit more about that objection that you've gotten.
I had one girl, she went to a Shake and Share, and this was last fall, and she went to one in the mall nearby here, and she said, well, I really liked it, I tasted it and everything, and she was going to order it through me, and then she said, you know what, I've decided no, because do I really need that, all of that in my body? Do I really need that? I'm pretty healthy. And, I talked to her, I didn't argue with her about it or anything, and I just said, well, I love it, and told her what I liked about it, but I still talk with her, but I've never gotten her over to my side. So she still thinks, hey, I don't need this. She's a nurse, and she doesn't think she needs all that, And I didn't know if you guys ever hear that.
That's okay. Does she take any supplements right now?
I think she just takes regular vitamins, and that's it.
Okay. So here's, aside from listening to Shay Sanford's National Wake Up Call, here's what I want you to say, or here's the information that I want you to have. If you looked at a cup of spinach back in the 1950s, and if you looked at a cup of spinach today, the nutrient value of that cup of spinach from the 1950s is here. Ours is down here right now, okay? There's no way that in that same volume of food that you have the same nutrient density, okay? We are nutrient deficient due to over-farming, due to all the chemicals that are being used for that. Even if you're GMO and organic and everything else, the nutrient deficiencies based on over-farming is far, far different than it used to be. You absolutely must supplement your food. Even the best, most well-intentioned eaters who are eating like Julia Hepburn does, like organic, green, healthy, top-notch, you're still missing nutrients. So that's why you need that in a shake. The reason why you drink Shakeology over taking a multivitamin pill is it breaks down easier in your system, and it's more easily and rapidly assimilated into your bloodstream. right? Now your body has to do a lot of work to break down that little pill, and not everything's getting absorbed with the time that it takes to move through your system, right? So Shakeology just allows that to go right into your system, and now you've got all the nutrients that you need, okay? Does that kind of make sense? Okay.
It does.
The other thing that you said was muscle milk is cheaper and it has less sugar.
This comes from my son. I cannot get my son over to my side. He is killing me. He's killing me. And so my son is almost 27, and he uses muscle milk. He's used it for a while.
Okay.
And
it is cheaper. It is cheaper. Do you know why? I'm going to it's a chemical shit storm.
Isn't there formaldehyde in it?
What's that?
Isn't there formaldehyde in muscle milk? Isn't there something back in the news a while back? It may not be now, but really like a year or two, there was something like formaldehyde or something really bad in muscle milk.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not good.
It is a chemical shit storm, and that's why it's cheap. Okay? Because it doesn't, and right? So if I process something in a lab and I make it up out of nothing, sure, it's going to be cheap. It's going to be great. And remember, muscle milk is a protein shake only.
That's true.
It's not protein, right? Well, it is protein, but it's not just protein, right? It's protein plus so much more other stuff, okay?
Yeah.
So, and regarding the sugars, oh, God, drives me crazy. Okay, sugars. Of course, in your muscle milk, there's not going to be a lot of sugar. There's no reason to have sugars in there, right? So your muscle milk shouldn't have a lot of sugars, okay?
Right.
So does your son not eat fruit?
Sort of. Yeah, sort of.
Okay, but he does eat some fruit, right? Or does he not eat fruit because there's too much sugar in fruit?
I'll tell you.
I can't eat the sugar. So are you not going to eat that apple because it has too much sugar? Okay.
You know what it is? He has already told me, this is what he told me at lunch. He took me to Mother's Day last week, and he said, Mom, I know if I try it, I'm going to want it, and I can't afford it. That's what he told me. So I'm going to work on him. He's going to come around.
He's going to come around.
He's going to be a coach.
For free.
I want him to be a coach. Yes, ma'am. There you go.
Get it for free.
Absolutely.
Oh, exactly.
Free. Okay. So that whole
as Tammy always says, family's the hardest, right, Tam?
Yeah.
The worst. The worst.
Yeah. Family is the worst.
It is. They really are. They are the hardest, and it takes them sometimes even longer to come around than strangers.
Mm-hmm.
My family thinks I'm crazy because I'm into all of this anyway. So because I work out and I run and I exercise, I'm the crazy one in the family.
Right.
Oh God.
My cousin and I,
You're home. It's okay. You're among your other crazy friends.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all.
That's why I like my friends. Yeah.
I know. All right. So Jennifer and Adria, you both have. Do I really need a shake a day? I can't really commit to drinking a shake a day. So Adria, when you get that objection, what do you say?
What do I say? Do you have breakfast every day? Do you eat every day? I mean, that's what I say. I'm like, really, it's not committing to anything else besides what you're doing. The time that I prep a shake is less than I would prepare a breakfast, really. And it's something I crave every morning. So it's just like any other habit. Brushing your teeth, I have my shake. It's ridiculous.
Exactly. And it makes it easy to replace that one meal a day. That's one meal that you don't have to think about, right?
And you know, when I say that was the meal that I would always skip. You know, I was running out the door grabbing garbage, like a slice of bread. That's really going to tide me over.
Mm-hmm.
It's like starving in like 30 minutes or 10.
Exactly. So, I mean, that's the way that we have to combat that, is to say, you know what? But rather than grabbing a granola bar on your way out the door and hoping that it's going to fill you up until your mid-morning snack, it's one less meal that you have to think about, especially if you have kids who are involved in activities and you're running from here to there. If you have one less thing to think about, that right there is worth its weight in gold, right? One less thing to think about. I just make my shake and I'm done and I'm out the door. Lisa, it's good to see you.
Oh, hi,
Hi. Oh, hi.
Hi. Okay, so when somebody says to you, do I really need a shake a day? Why did you mute yourself again? I was asking you a question.
Because I'm in the car, so I'm trying to make sure I can hear.
That's okay. All right, so do I really need a shake a day?
Yes.
Why?
Because it's going to make you regular. It's going to give you energy. It's going to make you feel amazing. It's so much easier to not skip breakfast by having one while you're driving in the car. There's no excuse not to have one every day.
Mm-hmm. No excuse. No excuse. Absolutely.
No excuse. You want to reach your goals, you're going to do what you have to do to reach them.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I agree 100%. All right, and then this one was my favorite one, and this is why I saved it for last. So Monica said, I don't like working out, but I really want to lose weight. Don't we all want that? I want $1 million, but I don't want to work for it. What the hell is that? Really? Really? Okay, so what do you think? So we should be asking more questions then to say, well, why don't you like working out? Is it because the workouts that you've been doing have been really boring, stale? What, you've been walking on a treadmill? I don't want to live my life like a hamster. I don't want to do that, right? So it's a matter of kind of getting a little bit more information about why they don't like working out. And they probably don't like working out because they haven't found the right workout that works for them, right? They haven't had that support and accountability from somebody kind of pushing them to do it, right? Because most likely they haven't hired a personal trainer, right, who's going to push them. And even still, most people only hire a personal trainer for one time a week, okay? And if you're only walking on a treadmill, I would last a week doing that, walking or running on a treadmill. So it's a matter of finding something else that they enjoy. So it's a matter of asking more pertinent, directed questions as to why that is. Does that kind of make sense?
Yes.
Cool. All right. What do you think? Jen, Eleanor, Jenna. I feel bad that Jen is muted.
Better move out.
That's why it's up there. That's why the camera's up there.
Yeah.
Jenna, do you have questions?
Hey, you know what? Just what I want to share with everybody.
I think I'm good right now. I'm just trying to listen. Sorry, he is being exceptionally fussy right now.
That's
You're
okay.
fine.
You keep listening. Go ahead, Jen.
What I just want to share with everybody is that I think if you go into these conversations with your people and you're asking questions, so if they're asking you questions, that's actually not good. You want to be asking them questions and getting them to answer, and you asking more questions to elicit more conversation. And so if you start with the goal and what their goal is and why they have that goal, like when somebody says, and I say, if they shoot back with, tell me how much it costs. Well, really, it all depends. So let's talk about what your own individual goals are. And they say, oh, I want to lose 20 pounds. Well, okay, so talk to me about why now is really important to lose 20 pounds. What does 20 pounds look like to you? Does that mean that you have clothes? And, and sometimes I'll ask you, does that mean that you have clothes that you want to fit in? Is that going to make you feel a particular way this summer? Talk to me about that really. And, sometimes they're like, but most of the time they're looking at that on a message thread, right? Because that's where I've done my invites. And then they feel a little bit more comfortable in answering that question and getting kind of down and dirty. And then I get them on the phone. I don't do all of my work in Messenger. For me, I'm much better able to kind of get across my feelings, my support for them in a telephone call. And so when we get on the phone, I just reiterate what their goals were, and then we start talking, and I start asking them questions. I'm asking them questions about what have they liked before with fitness, if anything. Get to know other people's stories. My story was I didn't like fitness either, and I was looking for a magic pill, just like Monica's person. I wanted to take something and have it all fall off my body, and that was just going to be great for me. 2 years later, I can't imagine not having fitness in my life. I'm up at 5:15 because I want to get my workout in. And if you would have told me I was going to do that 2 years ago, I thought you were insane.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to know other people's stories and say, you know what, I hear what you're saying. And I know lots of people like that on my team. Use my story. Use Adria's story, use Lisa's story. I still struggle. I'm watching Susan Wood-Donis from our team. She's still struggling to get her workout in, and she's wanting people to post their own sweaty pictures on her wall so she can get herself motivated as a coach. So, find out from them really what they've enjoyed ever in the past, what they found successful, what they don't like about fitness, what they do, what about it interests them. Get really at their why. And then I ask tons of questions. How many times a week do they eat out? How many times do they buy or pack their lunch? How many times do they show up at Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks? What do they spend their money on that they really enjoy for themselves? I ask all kinds of questions because you all know that Michael Kors bags are expensive. And these women are finding a way to spend that, drop $400 on a purse, okay? So there is nothing more important than their health. And if they truly have a why, truly, if you've gotten to their why, then it doesn't matter what this cost is. And when you start walking them through the challenge pack, I'll tell you, 8 out of 10 people don't even ask me how much it costs. Mm-hmm. I get them right onto the website. We're in the challenge pack. Boom, boom, boom. We're in and we're done. And it's as they're clicking, I'm telling them that this is going to auto ship to them, that I want them to know about the date, that I have too many people. I can't keep track of all of mine. So you make your decision for how you're going to handle your customers. But, you know, I say to them, you're going to auto ship on the 12th every month. I want you to mark on your calendar the 5th of every month. You want to be in touch with me if we need to change something about your order. So we just, you know, you just state it matter-of-factly. And if you're finding, what I want to challenge everybody is, if you're finding a struggle somewhere, then it's somewhere you're struggling. So you want to talk with your upline about, you know, why is it that I'm struggling with that auto ship? Is it because I find it annoying? Why do I struggle with this price? Is it because I think it's somewhat too expensive? So really delve in and get a handle. I couldn't agree with Adrienne more when she said that, about really getting a handle as to why this is the best possible product that everyone on this planet should be putting in their body. Everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Hope that was
word
to your mother.
And on that note, see ya. Goodbye. No. All right. So
I haven't had coffee today. I'm like,
and Tammy's had too much.
I had one.
Okay. All right. Wait. So I'm going to interject though. So Tammy, the other night when you had your Zoom call, when you had your team Zoom call, and we couldn't get on the website, so you couldn't do your screen share, I had a message from Michelle Langlois, and I was like, is Tammy all hopped up on E&E? Because I was like, man, you were like, oh, and I was like, holy cow.
I love this stuff. Love it. Can't help myself.
All right, so we've got 8 minutes left. Eleanor, Jenna, any questions before we kind of wrap up our last Zoom call together?
I don't think so.
Really? Yeah? Jen?
No, you know, the minute I hang up is when I'll have them.
That's right. You'll just send me a PM.
It happens.
It's all good.
I'm like, oh, I should have asked that. But.
It happens. Lisa, any last words for our crew?
It's gonna be so sad to not see everybody all the time. Very sad.
Lisa, you didn't hear the news. We're doing a 21 day fix / extreme talent group.
Love it. It's my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in.
Okay.
We know that.
I will be everybody for the 2-week push. I'm going to do a video tonight. I don't want it to wait till after this Zoom, but I'll do a video tonight for the team page.
Okay.
I'm just encouraging other people who have completed Coach Basics already to come back, revisit. If they're not hitting SC5 every month, come back, revisit the 2-week push. If they're not at Emerald yet, come in. If they're not stable Emerald, which is at least 2 coaches on each leg, that's a stable Emerald. That way, if you got somebody who goes inactive, you don't have to worry about dropping your rank, to come back in and join us.
Perfect. That sounds great. Okay.
Yep.
You guys are all killing it. I'm so proud of you. I know that, I know life is hard, and I know that, we all find our way in this. So I appreciate the time that you guys spend and the people that you're helping, because that's what this is all about.
Yeah, no, this is the fun part of the job, is being able to kind of impart our knowledge that we've gotten over the past, year and a half, whatever it is, and being able to just kind of share all that. Because you know what, where you guys were, we all were, and we were like, duh, it's $130.
Right.
Been there. You're like, oh yeah, 21 Day Fix, yeah, it does this and that and this and that, and blah. Shut up. Shut up. Stop vomiting all over them. We've been there. We've done that. So we get it. So it's kind of fun to be able to go back and say, yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. But the good thing is that you probably vomited all over your really close friends and family, and they're the hardest sells anyway. So that was good practice. And
you guys are also like bubbly and chatty and know this stuff so well. That's the hard part for me, is that I'm a quieter person, so it's a little harder to kind of you know, I don't know. That's my struggle anyway.
Yep.
You know, even when people ask me, I feel like I'm not saying it with enough confidence because it's still new for me. So
Mm-hmm.
Just
Yep.
keep practicing. The more you practice, the more you talk about it, the better you get at speaking about it.
Yep.
It's true.
Yep.
Yep. And talk to everybody. Who cares? Talk to the stranger in the grocery store in the aisle. It doesn't matter if they never talk to you again. Who cares? You know, I mean, you know, practice on people. And you know, failure. I love that image of, you know, success is like this straight line. No, that is not true. It's like you know, and you make a ton of mistakes. And you know, use your upline. Get them on the phone. If you guys aren't having success in sealing your challenge packs, do a 3-way call. Listen to
I talk
somebody.
to Tina all the time.
Yeah, you know.
I'm always instant messaging her. I'm like, hey, wait a minute.
Right, and you can ask me too. I don't mind doing one. You know, it's good.
Like such a gnat. Like,
Yeah. Okay.
That's how you guys learn, though. You guys learn from listening to us. You know what I mean? You know, and then you kind of figure it out as you go along. You know, after you're done with a conversation, you kind of go back and you revisit. You should be like, I should have said,
right.
you know, or I should have asked. And that's how you learn. You know what I mean? And that's just the way it is. I mean, I'm still learning in my conversations. You know, there's times where, I don't know, you know, things will come up and I'll be like, I shouldn't have said that, or I should have worded that a little bit differently, or whatever it is. And you know what? It is what it is.
That's right.
Exactly. So, all right. So it was my absolute pleasure, Adria, Lisa, to work this group with you guys. I'm glad that we have 2 more weeks of push left altogether. And then we've got our challenge group running next month. So that's terrific.
Good.
Love it.
Love it. Any other questions? Good. All right. I'm going to stop recording.